Hello, and a warm welcome to all of you. If you're new here, listen carefully. This is week 45 here in our or my Stitch Circle Show Challenge. And I'm Lisbeth, and I'm the host for this Stitch Circle Challenge. If you don't know me or you don't know my channel, I'm Danish and I'm a mixed media artist who likes to do all sorts of things. So look at the playlist. I have divided my content up so you can find whatever interests you and skip the other things. But all this year here, and we have been doing, or I have been the host of this Stitch Circle Show Challenge. And go and find week 1, and there I will explain a lot more about it. There is a link here below under the little word more. There also is a link for making a cover, and there is a link for a closed Facebook group if you want to do this challenge. You can still do it even though we are 3 parts in this year. It will lie there for as long as Facebook is there, and you could do it in your paste. You're welcome to do that, but don't apply the group if you don't want to do the challenge. Yeah, enough of that. But look at the different links here below. I have my cover here, and I only have the last signature in. My first signature is here, and it should have been in my book, but then you can see my cover is so small, so it can't be there. So before the year is over, I'm going to make a new cover, but I will talk about that later. So right now, while I'm working, I only have the last signature here in the book. And this is where I left you last time. And those of you who have been following me for a while know I like my spreads to look nice together. So often they are in the same color scheme, I like to make them so they look nice together. So that would also reflect on the choices I have made for week 45. But I will put this aside so I am ready for gluing it down when I am done. But so for this week's Dogma Rules. Yeah, of course, since you saw my last spread, I worked in black and white. You don't have to do this, but I say black and white, but you can do a very light color or a very dark color, perhaps like you did last week. That is up to you. But you have to find 2 pieces of fabric so you can cut them up so you have 2 squares in the dark and 2 squares in the light. So you end up having 4 small squares. These 4 squares you have to sew together with turn edges and place them opposite so it will look like a checkerboard when you have sewn them together. And when you have sewn them together, you trace a circle inside every of the 4 squares, and you decide how big or small, if you want them even sized or different sizes, that is up to you. You also decide if you want to center them or put them random on inside the square. That is also totally up to you. That was rule number 1. And rule number 2 is to only use the double blanket stitch. And then when I say double, I don't mean double legs. I mean 1 round and then around the other way. So the legs are going like this inside each other, but I will show it to you. So it's normal blanket stitches, but it's 2 rows turned opposite ways. So the legs, I call them the legs, they go into each other. And since I have thread, I have a black and white and a red, and the red thread, you can use your favorite colors. I have chosen red, but you can use whatever color you fancy to do. But I think it looks nice with my other piece last week that I choose the same color. So for instance here I will, in the outer circumference, I will make a black line, and the inner blanket stitches I will make red. Or I could do it the other way around, make red at the outer, at this outer circumference, and then use black for the inner. And of course the same in the black. Yeah, it sounds a little tricky perhaps, but I will write it below so you can read it quietly, and of course you can see what I'm doing also. So these are the 3 rules for this week here. So yes, let's get started. I have these 4 strips here, so now I will, not 4, 2 strips, so I will just divide this white one, and I will just take it. I like the sound of tearing fabric, yeah, also paper for that matter. And I don't think they are exactly the same width, but I hope I can manage to sew them together, so I can always trim the edges on the outside as the last thing I do if I want to do it. We'll see how it ends. So now I have these here, so I will just sew these 2 together. And yeah, I don't know what kind of color thread I would use, so I have just taken a black one. If you really want a straight line when you're sewing, of course you can take your ruler or whatever you have to draw a straight line, and of course you can put pins in if you want to. So, but I will just do some small running stitches and perhaps a single back stitch once in a while. There isn't anything difficult in this, other than it is such a small piece to hang on to. So, and I think my needle is a little too big. Yeah, I think I'll just do small running stitches here, and perhaps find a smaller needle for the next ones I'm sewing together. But I will sew these 2 together, and I will also sew the 2 others together, and then I can show you what to do next. So they are sewn together now, so I will just open them up and give them a good finger press with my nails. Of course you can iron them if you want to, but I don't bother taking my iron head here. So I will just turn this around there and place them here, and the important thing here is to line them up here, and for that I will just put a needle in and hope I hit. If you're unsure, you can always open it and see. Yeah, I think that it looks nice. Okay, so again I will just sew all the way over there, and that is all I'm going to do. I can put a needle in here so I'm sure. There. Just do that and that. There. And if you want, again, you can trace a line. It is a little more difficult because you can't see the the white line, or the black line on the black or the black fabric. So let me see. Yeah, I have this one. Perhaps, yeah, I can make with charcoal instead there. No, not charcoal. It is just chalk. Okay, but I will sew this and show it to you. Oh, I have sewn it together. It looked like that, and it was a little too big for my page in my book. So I have just hit the line here for where it says 0 or 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I know here from the middle and out, I want it to be 6.5 centimeters, because then it will be 13 centimeters totally, and that is a nice measurement for my book. And then I will just take my ruler here and cut it off, and I have done that on all 4 sides. So I will remove this one. I don't think it's called a ruler, it is called a rotary cutter, I think. Sorry. But now I know my piece is nice, and I know I've cut this up, but I don't think that matters. So now I have a nice piece here. So now it's a big question. How big or small do I want my circles? And I think these are too small. So let me see here. I have this thing here. Yeah, but that is too big. I will go here. I have another template somewhere, but or else I will go in my kitchen and see if I can find things. But in fact, maybe this is quite nice size-wise. And I think I will make the first one and then decide if I want to place them in center, all of them, and if I want to do the same size, or if I want to offset them and make different sizes, or offset them but the same size. Yeah, there are so many options here, but you will have to decide which one you want to use. But I think I will go for this one size-wise here, and I will put it in the middle. I'm a very, yeah, I like grids and I like linear things, so it's perhaps not such a big surprise. I want to put them like that, but that doesn't mean you should put yours that way. You can put them any way you want. And this is just a pencil, and it doesn't matter because I will hit the line so you can't see it. I'm not one of those who has, I don't think I have one of these erasable things like Carol, you know. Carol, hello, you know. Your friction pen, I will come and take it from you. But in this case, it's okay to use it. So I will find out what color I want to use, and then I will show you how to use sew the blanket stitch. I'm sorry, I forgot one thing, and that is I like to sew through 2 layers. If the fabric is, I won't say this fabric is flimsy. In fact, it is not a very nice fabric to stitch into, but I like to have 2 layers. So I will just put this on the back side and see if I can, yeah, I could invisible baste it all the way around, but then I would have to change thread all the time. So for a start, I will just I will go here in the line so there won't be any holes in my fabric to see. So I will just go here in the seam and hopefully when I've done all the 4 circles, the fabric is just sitting there. So I don't need to do anything more with it. That was a big needle, that one. I know it's irritating with these needles, and perhaps I will, as soon as this is attached, put them out again, because I know I will hate to have these needles sitting there. So now I'm ready for stitching. I can quickly show you how I do the blanket stitch, and I think in fact it was not the first, if it was the second or the third, perhaps one of the first weeks we make a big circle with this stitch here, and it was on old tea bags, I think. But I do it this way, and I know many of you who stitch away from you do it differently, but yeah, I think you can see what it is I'm doing. So I'm just coming up for a start here, and then I go down, come up, exactly under, further down, and sorry for shaking you, and go into the loop. And then I have secured my thread there, and then I just come down there, up here, and in the loop, there. And here is the thing, you can change this stitch very much by making, I call these legs, so now you know what I'm talking about when I say legs. You can make them as long or as short as you will. You can make the distance between the legs as big or as small as you like. So that way you can really make variation in this stitch here. And that you can use to get to make it look the way you want to have it to look. Of course, when I'm doing it in a round here, and the next round I'm doing, my legs will go in there. So you have to have a little distance here and not put them so close so you can't put the other round's leg in there, but you seldom put them so close together. But you can see here, right now I'm doing them on a straight line, but you don't have to do them on a straight line. Now I have this line to steer by, but if I hadn't the line, I would just curve it like that. So this is how I do it. I know many of you do it opposite, but the line there I want to be in the circumference there. So let us start that. And you need a good long thread for that. Of course you can change thread in the middle, and if I could show it to you if I reach that point, but I will see. So I will just come up here, and since I'm ending here the same place, I'm just don't make the first stitch very tight, because there should be room for when I come to all the way around, I can go a little out with that. But I think I will make my my legs. I wish I had long legs, but I don't. Let them go out there. And you will do a lot of twisting and turning here, I think, because it's such a small piece we are sewing on. And make them to make the stitches lie nice. So, oh yeah, I can see I have sewn into this here, so I will just cut that off. That doesn't matter, I think. It's very much cheating here. Yeah, I will take care of that and see to that don't happen again. You probably all have tried this. You're sitting on with your sewing on your lap, and suddenly you have, especially if you have loose a dress or a skirt or loose trousers on, suddenly you have sewn yourself together with your embroidery. But you decide here how big or small or how you would do them. But I will sew all the way around, and I can show you how I end this circle. So you can see I have reached the point where I started. So the last stitches should take, you will have to eyeball it so it will look very nice, or as the stitches has the same size. So I'll just go inside here and drag my thread down here, there, and pull it through, and then I can secure my thread at the end. And I think I will just, since it is only sitting in a book, I don't care so much about all these things here. But that was the first round, and you can see you can not see the traced line. So now I will take my red thread, and there was enough thread there, so that was fine. And it is always so nerve-wracking to thread your needle here on camera. And make a quilter's knot here. And then I will do exactly the same, but you can of course decide if you want your legs to be very long in there or short in, or whatever you fancy to do. But I think I would put mine really close to the circumference, and then I will go there and about there, I think. Let us see how that looks. And if you're a very neat person, of course you could have drawn another circle. Yeah, this is perhaps a little too tight. There, so you end up with a round circle again, but I don't mind that they aren't, or the circles are not totally neat. And again, I will just go all the way around. And doesn't that look nice? I don't think you could have a bigger contrast with black and white, and it is quite harsh. If you're not into that, yeah, I think if you took a cream color and black already there, it would be not so harsh, because this fabric is really in your face white, and I would use it normally for tea dyeing or eco dyeing or something. It's not a nice fabric, so white in itself, I think. but I will continue all the way around, and then I can show the double circle to you. The double blanket stitch circle. Yeah. So done with the first one, and I think it looks quite fine. So now I think I will start one in the black area here, and sorry if my hair is coming in here, but it is a little awkward to trace here. Yeah, I think it looks a little bigger, but I think I can do this. So now I will start with my red thread here instead, and I think I will start out here. So perhaps it isn't the easiest thing to see when I'm stitching in the black. Fabric. And I will see if I can make the legs a little closer this time, just for the variation of it. There, and I think I can remove that pin now. But again, I will be doing this all the way around, exactly as I did here. But I will say to you, play with the stitch, make them long, short, wide, narrow. Yeah, whatever you fancy to do. And if you will make them the same in all the 4 squares, or you will make them different or place them different, that is up to you. You have many things to decide for yourself this week. It's not me who is deciding all the things here this week. But I will stitch this around and start with the white thread also, and I can show it to you. I'm almost running out of thread, so now I can show you how I change thread. So I will just go down where I would normally go down and drag that through and pull my needle out, and there is a loop sitting there, and then I will take another thread and put it in my needle and make a knot, and then I will just come up here in the circumference there, and then I will pull a little in my thread here on the back side until it sits nice there, and then I can always secure that thread later. But again, I'll just continue. So that is all I'm doing. It looks bigger, but I think it's because I use this chalk is so thick, so my circle will end up bigger. I should have perhaps dotted in the inside. Yeah, it is so easy to be wise afterwards. So the red circle is done. So now I have taken some white thread in my needle, and I will do exactly the same here. It really looks whoosh. You can't fall asleep when you're sewing with these colors here. So on with the white. So I will also sew this, but I think you got it now. And I think I would, here in the white, I will start with the red for the outer and the black for the inner line. And also here I will take the white as the outer and the red as the inner, so there will be a difference. So I think that is what I will go with. So a little more stitching to do. It isn't something that is taking very long time this here, because it is quite big stitches I have chosen to do, but I'm enjoying it, and that is, I would say, nearly the most important thing when you're stitching. Remember to enjoy what you're doing. And I think when I'm sitting by myself and stitching, I often hear podcasts, but when I'm home alone, and there's nothing in the house but me, and it is totally quiet, everything. Oh, it's so nice to sit here stitching, and it is so nice to just let your thoughts go walkabouts. You can think of everything and nothing at the same time. And no stress here. Just let the work flow and your hands work with you. Yeah. So done with this red thread here, and now until the last black round here. And it is quite funny to see these two. I have tried to make the same width and length of the stitches, and how different they look. And you can, of course, that way decide if you want or like one more than the other. Then you know this for another exercise perhaps. I think I like the red one, the one with the red in the outer circumference. I don't know why, but I do. I think it looks nice. Yeah, I'm excited to see this here. This here I have made more space between the legs and shorter legs, and this one compared to this one, I like this one with longer legs and narrower space between them more than I like this one. So you learn a little, sorry, every time you do this kind of stitching where you do a lot of variation over it, then you can see what your eyes like more than others. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's quite funny to get that feeling that you can't explain it, but I think this looks better than this one, for instance. Yeah, so I know that, but I will sew that up and take some close-up at the end of the video. So done here, and I have remembered to take a photo while it is lying flat and not sitting like a bump in my book. And it is a little funny to see that here I like the one where the red was in the outer circumference, but it's the opposite here where the stitches are shorter and wider, and of course it's on the white background, but there I like the one with the black one in the outer circumference. So yeah, that is just what my eyes is seeing. So but I really hope you will play with the stitch and see how many different things you can get out of it. It is a quite nice stitch to sew. So here I will turn it around, and we come to the tricky part. Here, put some double-sided tape here on the back, and yeah, I don't think it matters which way I turn it, so I will just do it like this. here, and then I can place it in my book. And if you have a book with so many pages, so you can have a embroidery on only one side of the page, then you can stitch it in your book. But since I am having on both the front and back side of the page, I can't stitch it in. Then I could see the stitches there, and I don't know where I would hit. That is one thing. And the other thing is, you absolutely don't need to have a book. You can do the challenge without having a book. That is not a must. You can put them in a box, and you can sew them on a scroll or an old sheet, or buy a sketchbook and put them in. There are many other ways you can use. And I put your small samples here. But I promise you, when this year is over here, you will have a collection of very fine inspiration you can dig into. And my hope is, I will just come up a little further away here, that you will use it and use some of the different challenges and mix and match them up and say, oh, I can take the challenge here from week 16 as this is just an example, and mix it with something you did in week 30 perhaps, and see what you can come up with there. There are many ways you can use this, and I will see if I can come even more up here. So doesn't that look nice? And you, of course, yours can look as nice too if you don't have used black and white, but a light color and a dark color and another color than I have used is red. But I really like this combo. But in the hindsight, I perhaps should have taken an off-white and not a screaming white. I really think this is singing screaming white here. But now it is like it is here. So I can put it into my cover here again. And perhaps when I make a new cover, I could make a video on how I do it. It is quite simple. It is not about the decoration of the cover. That is up to you how you would decorate it. But sewing it together, and so that is what the video will be about. So, done with week 45. Not to believe. Is there 7 weeks more? Oh, yeah, this year has flown by. I hope you have gotten some inspiration here and perhaps learned some tips and tricks and seen something you haven't been thinking of. And if you want to do the challenge, find the information here below, and you can apply and get starting this challenge here. I really hope to see a lot of fine embroideries on the group, and also if you don't want to be on Facebook, you can always do it on Instagram if you're there. I have 2 hashtags you can take here from below also and use them, then I can see what you're doing. It can sometimes be a little lonely in my end, because I really don't know what people who's not on Facebook or Instagram are doing, and yeah, I can understand why you don't want to be there, but for me it's a little sad, because I really like to see what you all come up with. It is also so nice to see and be inspired by what the other members are doing in the group. It's such a nice group to be a member of. And also I would like to say thank you for all the nice comments you always give me here in the videos. I really appreciate it, and I read and answer everyone the best I can. It gives me the courage to continue this filming here and doing videos on YouTube. So thank you for that. But else I will say, please give my video here a thumbs up, or perhaps consider subscribing my little Danish channel. That would be very sweet and helpful of you, and I would appreciate it very much. But else I will say, be creative and take care, and also be nice to each other. Smile to your neighbor, kiss your dog, and don't be mean to anybody. Treat people like you want people to treat you. If we all were doing that, I don't think the world would be such a not nice place, some places right now. But that is just my little opinion about that. So take care, and I'll see you in next Thursday for week 46, and then it would be exciting to see what I can come up with there. So bye bye for now.